So Lost Records Bloom and Rage actually got postponed. It was meant to be released sometime in the late 2024, so probably around fall. And since it's a game that's going to be released and not exactly in an episodic format, it's going to be 2 parts. So I'm guessing one part would be around like October, November, with the other one out in December. But they have pushed this despite the fact that it's been announced, I would say around 2 months ago. Everyone got really happy because this is Dontnod working on the on that game. This is the actual developers that have created Life is Strange, the original game. That's why we've been calling this game a spiritual successor to the first Life is Strange game, except now they're working not from France, but they're working from Canada. And we were all basically expecting to have at least similar experience that we had with Life is Strange, also because it's a game that really plays these nostalgia factors. It's about teenagers in 1995 and then same people but adults in the modern day meeting again after promising to never speak of some mysterious event happening. There's a lot of sentimental factors there, and just has that small town indie vibe that we all crave for, that we look for after Life is Strange. So why have they actually moved it? It's insane because they directly told us the reason. And I think even without telling us, we would still guess easily that it's because new Life is Strange game will be out in October 2024, so in some months, and it would probably be around the same time as Lost Records. So Dontnod decided to sort of step away and leave room for Life is Strange. They actually said that in the announcement that they showed on the social media. We made a decision to move the release dates of Lost Records Bloom and Rage to early 2025. We know you're all excited for both Lost Records and new Life is Strange. We wanted to make sure both have adequate space to shine. New Life is Strange game that's widely discussed these days. It will portray our beloved protagonist Max, except now sort of adopted, sort of in the hands of the new developer Deck9. Deck9 is an American developer and they have previously worked on Life is Strange games. So they have created Before the Storm, which was pretty nice for what it was, so a prequel to Life is Strange. And they have also created Life is Strange True Colors. So they have sort of announced that they'll be working on a game with Max, but so far as we know without Chloe. They said that it's a standalone game. There's been, well, different voices here and there, different opinions. People are sort of afraid that they're just milking the franchise and sort of milking financially the fact that it's Max, not even their protagonist, but then again, in Before the Storm, they also sort of borrowed a protagonist that Dontnod initially created. And it did work at the time, but this time it's sort of bigger because it feels like it's going to be a grand title, and because of the fact that it's Max, there's been a lot of coverage on media, on YouTube and whatnot. Sadly, this sort of overshadowed the fact that Lost Records will be out, a game that despite its name and despite not really being under Square Enix wings anymore, it does feel like the spiritual sequel to Life is Strange. Of course it's new protagonist, of course it's a new setting, it's a new story. We don't even know if there will be any special powers included, but there will be something supernatural happening there for certain. Now, new Max game under Deck9 seems to be more of a mystery, who killed type of a thing, using Max's powers. I guess the big question, apart from other big questions that I've already asked in another video, is it justified that it's Max and not a new protagonist? Because if it's Max just because it will bring viewers in, just because the players will come back, the initial game players, then it does feel somewhat wrong. But if the context is there, and if it's not really as separate from the first game as they said it would, because they said it's a standalone title, then maybe having Max would be sort of justified. It's really hard to tell at this point. Like I said before, I'm sort of cautiously optimistic, but I do find it extremely ironic that Dontnod, and by Dontnod I mean actual people who worked on the first game like Luke Bogdas and others, that they actually stepped away, leaving space for Life is Strange, which is their baby, and leaving space for Max, which is their protagonist. I don't know if Square Enix, I'm assuming, responsible for the release date, if they did it on purpose or not, if they wanted to contend. I don't know how much ahead they they had this plan, so I would be cautious with like any accusations because there's probably nothing behind it. But the fact that these two games will be sort of released separately is good for many reasons. First of all, Lost Records, they have more time to sort of polish the game, you know. People won't have to spend as much money around the same time. Also, they won't have to choose, and it would be dangerous for Lost Records because, as unfair as it sounds, people would probably still choose Max just because it's Max. Even though there's a risk that it could be any other protagonist in that game, but we don't know that yet. Like I said, maybe the context will be there. So this is incredibly ironic that they actually pushed their release because of that. It's actually admirable that they admitted it. It's a classy move, I think. It's elegant. I like it and I wish them all the best. I do hope that Lost Records will get as much recognition as it does deserve, because it feels like it does deserve it. I feel like they really changed a lot in order to have new space, also like mentally speaking, to sort of work on it. I don't just mean moving from France to Canada, but also I think they took a lot of time between Life is Strange 2, which, you know, wasn't really as great as the first game. It feels like going back to the roots but with a fresh mind, and they've always been pretty ambitious. I feel like they're more ambitious than Deck 9 in many ways, because with Deck 9 partially I can sort of predict what the game will look like based on Three Colors, but with Lost Records it's gonna be hit or miss. Really hard to tell at this point how they will handle it, but I'm really glad that they'll have that time to shine. Also for me as a content creator, and I'm sure for many other content creators out there, it's just easier if you won't have to, you know, cover two games in the exact same period, and not even counting Arcane that's coming out around the same time, which will be covered by me heavily. So that's that. I just wanted to briefly update you guys as I'm going to cover these games on my channel. Curious about your thoughts as always, so comment down below, and thank you so much for watching and for coming back. Stay safe guys, bye.